Here's my pocket pick TALIYAH support guide that I've been playing for almost over a year, updated for season 11. Why do I think TALIYAH support is good? She has excellent roaming. Her passive gives her move speed, so she can roam to side lanes and get one shots off. Her kit is overloaded pre 6. Because her ultimate doesn't give her combat stats, all her damage is in her main abilities, so she's really good at just early roaming and snowballing games out of control, and then using her ult later to make picks. Subscribe if you want to see a game. Tomorrow I'll be uploading a full TALIYAH support game, so subscribe to see that. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this guide. Here are my runes for TALIYAH support. I do think overall there's a lot of flexibility and you can shift these around for how you like it, but this is my playstyle on how I like it. I find Dark Harvest is good on her because your Qs procking over and over again can't proc electrocute, but they can poke them down low enough to proc an Dark Harvest proc, which can be really crazy late game. But if you're in an early game lane where it's like they have a healer in the bot lane and they're going to be sustaining and it can be hard to get your stacks, you can go for electrocute to just give you the burst combo. I like cheap shot to help with their one shot potential, zombie ward for late game vision control, but you can go for ghost portal for early game vision control. I like relentless hunter to build on her playstyle of the roaming, but you can go for again ravenous hunter for a late game healing sustain. For the secondary runes, you really need mana regen, so there's two options. I like to go for the mana flow bands tree because it just feels really good. You don't really that much with it, and it also gives you this celerity, which I think is really good on her because you're always using her passive that gives you extra movement speed. Celerity applies to that, and you're usually getting about 13 move speed throughout the game while you're using this, so I really like it a lot. But there is another option if you want. You can go for the presence of mind. This will make it so that you enter the fight with less mana usually, but if you get an assist or a kill, you'll get that mana basically reset and going through. So you can go for this, and you can combo with Coup de Grace for some extra damage, or you can get some tenacity with Legend. But for a quick overview again, this is my rune set that I like to go, and very standard secondary with the double adaptive and armor. But yeah, I hope this helps you guys out. Alrighty, so for a TLDR on the items for TALIYAH, for the mythics, you want to be looking to go either Everfrost, Ludens, or Night Harvester. For your boots, you want to go Sork boots. Most games, you're going to want to go Zanya's second because you are very vulnerable to getting dove. And then finally, you want to round out your build depending what you need with Morellos, Banshees, or Void Staff, depending on how the game is going as a TLDR. But let's get down into the items more. So going over the mythics to start off, there's Everfrost, a really iconic item on her. In Everfrost, if you hit them in the middle, it hits them with a root. This is really important for TALIYAH because it's hard for her to land her W, which is a long delay. So if you Everfrost the enemy, it sets up a free combo where you can just burst and one-shot the enemy. So definitely Everfrost is super good anytime the enemy team has dive comp. If they're jumping into you, you can use this so that you can hit the guaranteed. They dive into melee range, you hit the root, and you can hit them away with your combo and hit them, right? So Everfrost, a great versus NT dive. If the enemy team's not playing dive, I really like going for the Night Harvester build. The reason being is it is extremely gold efficient and good. When you hit the enemy with your Q, it'll give you move speed. So you see this little circle there, your first spell you hit against them will give you move speed. So if the enemy's trying to run away from you and you hit them with a Q and you get move speed and you're running at them, it can really help you out. On the opposite side of this, there's also Ludens, which basically does the exact same thing, except it's a mana item instead. I'm not a huge fan of this one instead. The reason why I like Night Harvester better is for support, gold really matters. You can see Night Harvester is cheaper by 200 gold. Also, in this one, a lot of your gold stat is going to 600 mana, where in the Night Harvester, a lot of your gold stat is going to 300 health. So you can see that it's more expensive and a lot of your money is going to mana, where this is cheaper and a lot of your money is going towards health. I don't think for support you need the mana pool necessarily because you're not clearing minion waves. Also on top of that, for snowballs, TALIYAH's got a really good snowball potential when she's roaming around the map. Hextech Alternator is just so good for snowballing. You pop in a lane and you get this extra burst damage. It can really make a difference, whereas with this, you're going to be sitting on a Lost Chapter, plus you're going to be sitting on a Blasting Wand, you're going to be waiting for 1250 gold to upgrade, where Night Harvester, you can get all three components and be waiting for a lot less to upgrade it. So yeah, I would say overall, I like Night Harvester better, but if you are someone who has mana issues, then for sure, don't be scared to get the Ludens. For boots, I would say you usually want to get Sork boots because it helps you again with the burst, but to be honest, this really depends on how much you back with. If I do back with not enough gold, I will go the CDR boots as it really drastically lowers your cooldowns, right? It's at 11.4 seconds compared to 13.3. So it's pretty much going down by 2 seconds, your main pick ability. Same with your E, right? 2 seconds off both these abilities is huge. But I'm usually looking for Sork shoes. After that, like I said, usually you want Zanyas. The main reason being, this is our build. The reason why you'd want Zanyas is because, again, most times if you get Dove, you don't have any escape abilities. Your R you can use to escape, but like you get knocked off it. So if you get Dove, you really want to be able to just Zanyas and hopefully not die and come out of it maybe and use something to save yourself. I don't know. It's just really, really good. And then to finish off, you usually want to round out your build, usually with one of the cheaper items. Unlucky, Void Staff just got nerfed a bit, but it has a good build path where you can sit on this component, right? So they all have good components, all three of these. You can, if the enemy team has a bunch of healing, you need anti-heal, get Oblivion Orb, and then you can upgrade it to Morello's. If the enemy team has a lot of magic damage dealers, you can get the Verdant Barrier and then upgrade it into Banshees. Or if the enemy team is just really tanky or you are a primary carry, you can go for the Void Staff if you're snowballing. And yeah, this would be my primary builds for TALIYAH. Would be basically this would be like a primary build where you're getting the most bang for your buck. You can go in, do your combo, Zanyas, come out of Zanyas, your abilities are off cooldown again, and go through another rotation. So yeah, hope this helps you guys out, and let's move on to some combos. Alright, so for abilities and combos, to start off, your Q shoots out 5 rocks at the enemy over and over again, and it puts a circle on the ground. If you cast your Q in the circle again, it only shoots out 1 rock, but only costs 1 mana, so it's very efficient. Your W is a knockback that sends your enemy flinging, and your E puts a groundwork that slows the enemy, and after time it goes away, and if enemies dash through it, it does extra damage. Usually you use this in combo with your W, so your main combo would be W, E, Q. You W, you knock them into your E, which pops extra damage, then you hit them with the 5 rocks. In essence, this is TALIYAH's main combo that you want to be doing, but you can use it in many different ways. There you saw me using it as an engage tool. You can use it where you W, if the enemy dies onto you, you can W away and E, and send them through the rocks away from you as you kite away. And as I showed you before, let me get the mana regen going. You can use it with the Everfrost to line up your combo, where you hit them with the Everfrost root so they can't move, and you hit the guaranteed combo. Now, once you hit level 6, you have one more combo that comes up. So boop, 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 we're level 6. You get your ulti, which is a big wall that you can ride across the map and jump off. You can use this to make picks, set off walls, but to show you the main combo, you would usually come in behind the enemy like this, and you come in and Everfrost them into your combo. Even there where I missed the root on the Everfrost, it slows them and makes it easier to land your combo. So yeah, this is TALIYAH's main combos and abilities, and it takes a while to practice. A good tip I got to practicing my W's is I'd come to the practice tool like this, and I'd literally just spend time going like this and just bopping it over the wall like this and getting it on a slow and quick, just getting used to flick shotting it. So yeah, I hope this helps. Oh, see? Everyone needs to practice a bit. Anyways, hope this helps you guys out a bit. So here's the lane phase. We're going to simulate, this is the minion wave, your ADC, the enemy ADC, and the enemy support is actually chilling in this bush. So as TALIYAH, you want to just abuse your Qs level 1. Most supports will not be able to outtrade. You either want to come up and shoot it at the enemy support in the bush, or you can shoot at the enemy ADC, and as he tries to kite away, you'd walk up like this as he's trying to run away, and you land as much damage as possible. Try to get control of the wave, and maybe walk up into the enemy bush to zone him from the wave, so that you can hit your level 2 spike first. When you hit level 2, let's level up here. You usually take your W. At this point, you don't really have the damage to all in. You really need your E. You can look to W someone into you, like the ADC, and W them in, and then look for your combo. But I find that it's usually not enough damage to kill, and I kind of don't like to, because I kind of like to surprise them with the level 3 spike. If you hit them with a W level 2, sometimes they'll play safe once you get to level 3. So sometimes I like to just hold it and just wait till level 3, because once you hit level 3 is where you can really start to get the damage. You can walk up and full combo, I'm not kidding, at level 3 like this, and you ignite the enemy. Look how much damage I did to this guy by myself, right? Like, this isn't like, he's level 1 with 1000 HP, right? Like, I'm level 3 right now with 675 HP, right? Like, I just one-shot him, right? Like, your ADC doesn't have to follow up at any point. As TALIYAH, if you hit a W, you can one-shot. So you always just want to be hiding in the bush and just waiting, watching. As soon as the enemy ADC goes in to hit a CS, you just want to, boom, hit them with your combo and watch them die and force them to play back. So then usually you're going to be able to push the wave and get the enemy ADC where he's going to be forced to be sitting underneath his tower over here, while you guys are standing over here with your minion wave, and you can freeze it like over here like this, right? In this position, you'll be able to now hug this wall and roam. So again, Taliyah's main purpose is she's really good at roaming. You usually want to pick her when you have CC mid or CC top. And say you have a mid lane Twisted Fate over here, a great time to roam. So you can use the level 3 and on to start roaming, which is why I like to take Celerity and Relentless Hunter. As you can see, level 1 with no boots, I'm getting 10 movement speed while I'm on the wall ride, and I'm getting 5 movement speed off the Relentless Hunter. So at any point, you can roam up the river, come up to the mid, and say you have your ally and the enemy, and your TF goes in and gold cards them. That's a free kill for you, and you can start snowballing your lanes. It's really important when you're roaming to make sure that your wave is always pushed into the enemy tower. There's a rule in League that when you push into tower, it always bounces back. So the idea is if you shove it into tower and then roam, the wave will start pushing back to you, and your ADC can play really safe and just farm from max range as it pushes to his tower. And then by the time you finish your roam mid, you can come back through the safety of your own jungle, and you can be back here. And by the time the wave gets built up and it's over here, you're already back to help to stop your ADC from getting dove by the enemy. So in essence, that's a lot of the early game. Of course, the next big spike for the early game is when you level 6. That's when it gets really crazy because you can start doing tons of things. You can use it for your own lane. Say the ADC walks up and he is cut off, you can just wall him, and then now because he has no way to get out, you can play it slow, hit him with the Qs, and then when he's in a bad spot, hit him with the combo. But of course, you can also use your R to roam and do the same thing in the mid lanes. So say we go mid, and again, they have like an immobile mid laner who's up like this, a simple wall like this, and you just walk in. And it's really hard for him to really do much here. He's going to have to flash this wall, and even if he flashes the wall, you can predict it and get him as he goes over it. So yeah, in general, the early game of Taliyah is harass the enemy level 1, look for picks, not necessarily level 2, but level 3, look for picks. And then once you get the wave shoved to tower, look to roam up through the river and gank mid, invade with your jungler, do whatever you need to do. After recalls, don't be scared to just go straight top after a recall. You just want to go to whatever lane has CC and gank, which means usually what you're looking for is gank CC in your mid or top lane. And usually you want an ADC who's safe to 1v2 lane, like an Ezreal, a Caitlyn, a Varus, anyone who has long range abilities to CS. You want to have bot who can be safe, while you want to have CC in your side lanes. I hope this helps, and we'll move on to now what to do into the mid to late game. So for the mid to late game on Taliyah, you usually just want to be roaming, trying to make picks on side laners and getting objective control. To make picks on enemies, usually you don't want to be standing in vision of them, because if you stand in vision, they'll be expecting the combo to come, but simply standing out of vision somewhere and looking for a combo out of vision can be a lot more effective. Obviously, you want to be roaming a lot on Taliyah because of your ulti and your passive. My passive plus my fully stacked Relentless Hunter plus Celerity, I'm just going to be moving super fast. So at any point, I can be hovering mid, looking for a pick on mid lane. But if I see top lanes overextended, it doesn't take me very long to just take a second ping. I'm on my way, I'm on my way. You just move a few seconds, and with your Everfrost, you can be making huge picks really quick. So I can just ulti behind the enemy like this, right? Come out with my Everfrost into my combo, and free kills to snowball the game. Other than that, you really just want to be getting good objective vision and objective control. So to get vision, you're going to be using your W because it gives vision of the bush. You see no one's in there, and you can walk up and ward. Maybe walk up and shoot your Q and go over and get a ward in this bush. And then you want to hide out of vision. If you're hiding somewhere like right here, and say an enemy jungler starts to walk in and he ends up walking here, you can literally just surprise 100 to 0 jungler by just camping areas like this. So the key for Taliyah is you want to be hiding out of vision, even just sitting in a bush and waiting for the enemy jungler to come by, or I don't know, just chilling in the mid bush here, even sneaky going here and doing like, if the enemy mid laner is here and you hit like a big combo like this, you can get a lot of damage out. The key to support in general is do not be seen by the enemy. If you're shown on the map, you're putting out a lot less pressure than when you are hidden on the map, because when you're hidden, they don't know where you are and you could be popping them. But anyways, let's get to objectives. So usually you want to be setting vision around your objectives before they spawn. So say for this dragon, a simple vision control like this, and say your team is on the dragon doing stuff. Your job is to zone the enemy coming in. So whoopsies. So say the enemy is coming through here like this, right? And maybe there's an enemy coming over here. first, if you have your ulti up and you haven't used it for roaming, a simple ult like this can be very effective and your team can burst the objective down. But if you don't have that down, you can also look to just stand max range. You don't want to commit to anything. Throw your E. Never use your W. Wait. If they try to jump in, you can Everfrost them and W them out through your E. And just try to zone the enemy as best as possible while your team is doing the objective. On the other hand, when you're in a team fight, it'll be very different. This is before a team fight where you're zoning. In a team fight scenario, what you would want to do, let's say we're going to mid lane. Whoopsies. We're going to mid lane. Say the enemy's line is here, right? And their carry's out there, and your team's over here, right? Something like this. You want to stand max range and just be throwing out DPS, throwing out your thing. You don't really want to look for any picks unless your teammates land CC. Rule of thumb, do not W and let the enemy CC'd, and just sit back and be DPSing as best as possible. This is the general playstyle of Taliyah. I hope it helped you guys out. Again, the big things you want to get track of is stand out of vision, right? Standing here and trying to land a combo is really hard because they can see you, but if you stand out of vision, they can get them. Use your passive to roam a lot and see if you can make picks with your ulti on side lanes, and try to just zone the enemy from fights and stuff. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this guide. I uploaded my Ivern guide, my Anivia guide, and this is my Taliyah guide. These are sort of my pocket picks that I like to play when my Nico support is banned, as I'm a Grandmaster Nico support main. Like, comment, subscribe to the video, and check out my Twitch. Would love to meet you guys, and until next time, later.